areas in the north. I did a special report on this Friday that's up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com titled Obama's Bombing of IS is a Hoax. And I want to retweet that at Real Alex Jones right now so folks can send that on to your friends and family. It's a 15-minute video, and it breaks down everything that's happening in that video with the documents, with the proof, even with the mainstream news articles. So that's what's happening currently on that front. Obama says Iraq airstrike effort could be long-term, and that's only to bomb them when they try to go into Kurdish areas to the north or when they try to go into southeasterly areas in the east that are Shiite and Iranian-controlled. This is the criminal breakup of Iraq and the areas mainly where the Christians lived in the traditionally central areas and western areas will now be expunged, and the mass murder will continue. And you won't see any rioting by Christians, be they black or white or Hispanic, across the U.S., burning down grocery stores like we're seeing in Ferguson, Missouri, because hundreds of thousands of Christians have and will be now slaughtered. Have been and are going to be. Of course, what would you burn down to protest the fact that our government's arming people and protecting people to murder Christians and only now bombing them because they're killing Kurd minorities, about 10,000 of them, hiding up on a mountain, which I'm all for bombing ISIS, by the way. You notice I'm only for bombing people the globalists created and are protecting. I'm never for bombing any of these countries. I'm never for attacking Libya, never for attacking Syria, never for getting involved with trying to overthrow the Egyptian government and put al-Qaeda basically in charge, the Muslim Brotherhood. See, the globalists are for the toppling of all those regimes. I was against it. Now, they didn't want to bomb ISIS when their convoys were pouring in 4 months ago, because then they could have been taken out easily. Now that they're in place, you'll have a few bombings of some old broken artillery and, you know, to basically send the message, hey, don't come here in the backs of your Toyotas with your 50 calibers and your Stinger missiles, or we'll bomb you. See how sick that is? A message from ISIS to the U.S. Islamist militants tweet gruesome images of dead American soldiers and vow to blow up U.S. embassies as terrorist convoy is wiped out in second round of airstrikes. But only teaching them you don't get the Kurd oil. Basically, Europe's agreed to get that third. And then Saudi Arabia and others, they get the West. The Iranians get the East and part of the South. See, this is a deal to break the country up. And so ISIS is being told, no, 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 no. You can kill all the Christians you want and all the Muslim minorities you want. You just can't go into the Kurd areas, okay? Think about how sick that is. And you're not going to hear a word at your glitterbug church, your big mega church, about this week when you go to church. Clinton blames Islamic militants' rise on Obama, French news agency. Hillary Clinton came out and basically said she liked George Bush 2 weeks ago on CNN. Now she's saying she wouldn't have open borders like Obama's doing. Now she came out and said, well, you know, we don't need too much more gun control. Pure baloney. She runs Obama. Clintons run Obama on record. So this is pure mindless positioning for moron, yellow dog, Ku Klux Klan, Southern Democrats who want their welfare checks to go vote for Hillary. That's how dumb they think you are. Here's another one. Hillary Clinton, failure to help Syrian rebels led to the rise of ISIS. That's right. Remember, they said we need to have air bombing campaigns of the Syrian forces, or al-Qaeda will get a training base in Syria and take over the Middle East. While they were through the Turkish ambassador from Benghazi, who was there that day, giving the heavy weapons, the artillery, the Stinger missiles, the TOW missiles, the Chinese red arrows, all of it. Anything the CIA could buy. Hundreds of thousands of machine guns bought from the U.S., sent over there, just everything. Then they think you're so dumb now, oh, we didn't topple Assad. That's why al-Qaeda's doing this. Oh, I'm sure al-Qaeda would have been, you know, not bad at all if they would have got serious. See, they need them to get a country. So they're making a new country for them to now terrorize everything, attack the U.S., hijack jets, blow up embassies, kill our military to keep the war going. See how that works? And in this tyranny that we live in, they will even steal our consciousness, our free will. So Hillary Clinton says that Obama didn't do enough to hand Syria over to the rebels who were mainly al-Qaeda. And so because he didn't give enough to al-Qaeda, that's the reason now al-Qaeda's changed its name and taken over much of Iraq and is now running around wildly murdering everybody. I have photos here today of small children holding up people's heads that have been chopped off in Iraq. And again, this has all been part of a strategic plan to shut down any sovereign nation that is sustainable. The globalists want to do the very same stuff here. They just can't get away with it yet. Hillary Clinton, failure to help Syrian rebels led to rise of ISIS. That's right. And then they give all this twisted logic explaining it. And people read the New York Times and think they're real smart, or read the Atlantic and, oh, you read the New York Times? Oh, you're an intellectual. Laura Ingraham has come out and said Iraq is worse off now than under Saddam Hussein. Yeah, so why did you support the bipartisan Republicans and Democrats toppling Hussein in 1991 and then in 1999 with the Clintons bombing, and then in 2003, and then his capture in 2007, on and on and on. She says after 11 years, Iraq is worse off and that Obama's doing a terrible job. No, he's not. But I appreciate you telling part of the truth, Laura. You're a smart lady. She's been around a long time. Wasn't she in the Reagan administration? She's getting ready to run for office. I'd like to be able to support somebody like her. She's good on guns and taxes and things, but really bad on warmongering. Did any of these wars turn out good for anybody? Our troops, our country, we're in debt, and we got a dead million Iraqis plus, and that's on our name until we repent of it. The Iraqis were some of the most pro-Western people in the whole Middle East, folks, until we screwed them over for more than 2 decades. And both political parties and the political class are behind it, and now they're breaking the country in 3 parts again, giving Saudi Arabia a third, Iran a third, and basically the EU a third. And we all paid for it. That's what a joke this country's become. Oh, look at this headline out of the Washington Post so intellectuals can read it and learn about things. Fighters abandoning al-Qaeda affiliations to join Islamic State. U.S. officials say, you mean IS and ISIS are like an al-Qaeda, a new name? Oh, my. Oh, that is very intellectual. We told you day one when all this started, really about 8 months ago when they started taking Fallujah, but 4 months ago when they dubbed themselves ISIS, that it was al-Qaeda being globalist, funded, and directed. Again, think of how sensationally evil that is. And the public is so confused that I have so-called intellectuals stop me on the street, or I talk to their talk show hosts and they're like, yeah, I really think we ought to be bombing ISIS, Alex. Yes, they're really bad. Why are you criticizing Obama? He's finally doing something. I thought you didn't like those people. Meanwhile, I've been telling people about it before it even started. Yes, I want to bomb ISIS. I want them all dead. Every stinking last one of them. They are a bunch of murdering, psychopathic, child-killing scum. But who's more evil? The crazy al-Qaeda, ISIS people, where you don't get to join their club unless you're totally out of your mind? So the most radical becomes the leader? Or the globalists that have been protecting and funding them and giving them weapons since 1979, was Zbigniew Brzezinski. And then the next administration of Ronald Reagan, and then George Herbert Walker Bush, and then Clinton, and then Bush, and now Obama. That's what's evil, is the corporate globalist interest that are creating full spectrum dominance, where they dump out a whole hive of wasp or hornets into your house And then they show up, knock on the door 5 minutes later when you've run out of your house. Or they come in your backyard and go, want to go back in your house? I'm a hornet killer. You know, pay me and I'll go take the hornets out. So he goes in, gets some of the hornets, kills a few, puts them back in another hive, goes to the next neighbor, sticks them in there. I mean, it's the same deal, ladies and gentlemen. Over and over again, and we're too stupid to figure it out. We're going to come back and get into the riots.
We're on the mark.